There were many casualties of the state's summer disasters, and businesses across Queensland are still hurting. One industry under pressure is the boat manufacturing sector. Queensland's peak marine body says although boat builders are starting to lift their heads above water, the challenges are set to continue. Tom Forbes reports.
For more than 50 years, the Haynes family has been building fiberglass boats at their Brisbane factory. But in recent times, the company has hit troubled waters.
Our production is reduced by up to 60%. It's very difficult.
Greg Haynes says during the good times they can build more than 1,000 boats a year, but that's now dropped to about 300.
This is the worst we've ever seen it in Queensland. We had a growth towards the end of last year, and then it's just stopped, and I believe September, October we'll see another growth spurt, and hopefully that will be sustainable.
The family-run company isn't the only pleasure boat builder in pain.
We saw a number of companies who literally just had like a week's work on their books, and we're really staring down the barrel of making some really tough decisions.
In recent months, the heart has been ripped out of the boat manufacturing industry. Flooding in many parts of Queensland and then Cyclone Yasi in the north broadsided an industry already listing from the global economic downturn. Demand for marine licences is steadily growing, but the number of recreational boats being registered in Queensland has flattened out.
People didn't abandon boating because boating is an important part of their recreational lifestyle, but they've just done things differently. So some of them are now moving out of power boats into sailing, and others are obviously doing things like sharing boats with friends and family and that sort of thing as well.
Greg Haynes says the dramatic drop in production has affected his workforce.
Have we got any foam in behind the rod locker on that one, or is it just carpeted? It's just carpeted.
So far they've avoided retrenchments, but staff sometimes work a 4-day week and there's a freeze on hiring. A few years ago, the family business rolled the dice and outlaid $1 million on new closed-moulded fiberglass technology. The gamble nearly failed when the global financial crisis hit, but the company diversified and it now uses the technology to build heavy machinery parts in the mining industry.
I don't think we'd be around anymore if we were, with the investment we have in this facility, just producing fiberglass trailer boats.
Marine Queensland CEO Don Jones says companies that are continuing to survive and even prosper are those that are innovating and listening to customers.
But what we are seeing, though, is that through these tough times, the industry is actually coming through stronger and better. So, again, our view is that it's looking quite optimistic.
G'day, Steve. How you going, mate? Good, mate. Good. How's it coming along? Yeah, not too bad, you fella. We're going to be ready.
For the past 2 years, receivers have been in control of the Gold Coast-based luxury boat builder Riviera. At its peak, the company had a workforce of 1,200 people, but that plummeted along with demand for expensive boats. Riviera says it's now working its way back into the black.
We've seen an increase in sales by 50% from last financial year to this financial year, and looking into next financial year we're budgeting for double-digit growth. So we're certainly past the bottom of the market.
Last June the company exited administration and it could be free of receivership by Christmas.
Indeed, we're recruiting again now. We're running ads, we're looking for new staff to come back and help us grow.
Riviera says it builds boats quicker and more efficiently than its overseas competitors. The fiberglass hull and deck are made separately. They're then fitted with motors, electrics and components before the two sections are joined together. What Riviera can't control is the high Australian dollar, which makes their boats more expensive to buy in the United States.
That's a challenge, and most of the boats that we sell in the US particularly are sold in US dollars, so we keep those funds and purchase all of the prime cost items for the boats in US dollars. So if you like, that's a natural hedge.
The economic downturn has steered many buyers towards the second-hand market, and that's another challenge for boat manufacturers. It's unlikely boat manufacturing will ever rival Queensland industry giants like mining and tourism, but it is an important cog in the state's economy, especially in regional centres.
Of all of the boats that are manufactured in Australia, about 85% of them come out of Queensland.
Maybe the downturn will sink a few boat manufacturers, but there's a cautious optimism in the industry.
The fact that our sales have doubled and then some in the last 2 years indicate that we're well and truly on the way back.
It's certainly some of the smaller players in the market are only sort of just hanging on, and we really need the economy to pick up and a better market.
Tom Forbes reporting.